Hey YouTube, how's it going? Kevin Cleary here with a knife video for you, and this is going to be my first impressions on the Kizer Megatherium. This is a new knife for this year. Really interesting design, and Kizer has been doing some promoting of this knife. I don't know why I can't speak there for a second, but I've been aware of this for some time, and then Epic Snuggle Bunny did a video on it, and so that got me even more anticipating this knife, and I've actually been waiting for this then for quite a while. Now, in the meantime, I have been checking out some of Elijah Isham's other stuff, and he has some pretty cool designs. You'll see his style is very much, this is very in keeping with his style. This is one of his older designs. I think it's from 2014 or something like that, but still very cool. And the initial knife that this was supposed to, the initial release didn't work out somehow, and I don't know all the details of that, but cool guy, cool designs. Go ahead and check him out on Instagram and you'll see what I mean when I say this is very, this has a very Isham feel to it. Let's go ahead and show you what this ships with, and then I'll give you, the specs and details and all of that. So if you get one of these, by the way, this is the first bladesmith I've had from Kizer, so all the other Kizers I have reviewed have been the Vanguard series. So when you get it in your, it comes in a postal box, whatever, you get a box like this, and then inside that box is this box, and then inside this box is a pouch, and then inside the pouch, if I can get it, you'll find the knife and a bag. Here's the bag. There's also a microfiber cloth in there. So eventually you do get to open your knife. It sort of feels like one of those little gags where you keep wrapping stuff in more and more layers. But eventually you do get to the knife. So that's the packing. Let's go ahead and give you a bit of detail on what this knife has got going on. So S35VN stonewashed blade in a Wharncliffe, maybe modified Wharncliffe. By the way, this is also available, I want to say, in a full titanium, so no bolster lock, but full titanium frame lock, and it's all like sort of black washed or something. Anyway, so S35VN blade, modified Wharncliffe, bearing pivot. This one happens to be the bolster lock with carbon fiber overlays, looks really cool. Milled titanium clip. Standoff construction there, and if you're not familiar with a bolster lock, just let me show you how it works. So it's basically a frame lock, except you've created this bolster at the top, and the scale here, or the overlay here, works to serve as the over travel stop. There is, if you take a look in there, a stainless steel lock bar insert. Okay, and it looks like that's designed to function as an over travel stop as well, so it's kind of doing double duty, or it's overdone maybe a little bit. This is a flipper, and I do like the fact that it's a hidden flipper. So once the knife is deployed, you can see the flipper tab kind of matches up with the handle there, which I've got to say I really like. The other cool thing about this is when you're gripping the knife, your fingers are sort of back out of the way, and so you can do cutting tasks without your fingers interfering with a flat surface that you may be cutting on. So those are sort of the features there. Oh yeah, let me give you a look at this carbon fiber. I thought up till very recently that this was G10. It just, from a distance, it looks like G10. Once you get up close, you can see that it is carbon fiber, and it's pretty well done carbon fiber. I'll speak more to those kind of details, fit and finish and all that, in the full review. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss those full reviews, and I've got a bunch of them coming up. So if you've seen first impression videos and you're waiting for the full review, coming up in the next week or so, you should see some of those knives starting to get covered in a more detailed way. Don't know if I mentioned, but I'll just say it again, standoff construction there. Okay, so now that you've kind of got the details here, let's give you the specs. And let's see here. This guy is going to be just, hold on, just over 8.5 inches. You can probably see that. It's not quite to 8 5/8. I'm not sure. Hopefully the camera angle isn't, it seems to look like that on camera, but in person I can see that it's more like 8 9/16. Blade length here is not quite 3 3/4, so fairly large blade. Handle length is going to be pretty well 5 inches right on. And I will give you this measurement as well, because this is a really thick knife. This guy is almost 2 inches thick, so a bit of a pocket hog there, but I will say I have pocketed this already and didn't find it to be all that bad. Now, as I've said before, I don't carry anything else in my front right pocket. Let's grab a weight and then I'll kind of give you my overall take on where this knife kind of fits in, or where I feel like it could fit in. So 5.49, so basically 5.5 ounces. When you sort of get a look at the knife, that definitely makes sense. It's a fairly substantial knife, and I do think, guys, this is a pretty cool looking blade. And I've got to say, here's my overall impression is this. Two main points that I want to make before I get to, you know, a full review. First, this is a knife that is very artistic and different, but functions very well. Okay, so a lot of times when you get a knife that is, you know, they've emphasized the form, they often have done that to the detriment of function. In this case, the form is really, really cool, really interesting, really different, and yet nothing is sacrificed when it comes to function. This is a great, great knife for, you know, the typical cutting task that you're going to run into. So that, I've got to say, is pretty cool. In terms of who this knife is for, who's going to be interested, where it's going to fit in my collection, this is a bit of a dressier knife with the carbon fiber and the titanium. And so it's going to be for that person who, you know, you want to carry something that's interesting, that's different. And this allows you, I think, to do that while still having a pretty useful tool, which I've got to say I'm a fan of. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss anything else that's coming up. And we will talk to you soon.